Mayor.
All meeting order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Aldermember Starr.
Here.
Blackdy.
Here.
Carey. Polson.
Here.
Eller.
Here.
Kerrigan.
Here.
Mayor Barner.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Right, welcome to. Good to see you here. First up is the consent agenda. We'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. I'll second.
Motion in a second, favor? 6. Mayor, what did annual conference? What that on?
Sound like it.
It was.
There we go.
Now better?
Yeah.
There we go. I went to the MML Missouri Municipal League Annual Conference this last week. And it was really good. Learned a lot of great things to serve the community better, in my opinion. Keynote speech was God.
Yeah, right.
All right, the keynote speech was about bridging the generation gap. I had to talk to people like, you know, I'm a boomer, I communicate with Gen Z, Gen X, and that was very enlightening, because I need to be able to do that sometimes. Okay, another one was how to market your municipality. These are just the one, there are a bunch of seminars, and these are the ones that gave me the most benefit. Marketing your municipality, how to activate retail vacancies. Reimagining economic development through tourism, building trust through community engagement. That's one that I really benefited from. That's what I really want to get done in the city, is to community engagement and building trust between the city and the citizens. So, but it's really good, really enlightening, really good classes, very worthwhile, and I appreciate the opportunity to go down there. The public safety focus group is receiving applications. There are 11 applications so far. We would like to see a lot more. I'm going to be reaching out to those people this coming week, but you have till the 27th to get your application in if you would like to be considered to serve on the public safety focus group. And that's it for the mayor's report. I'll move to all the reports. Alderman Blackdy.
I would like to continue on with the MML conference that we went to. I felt it was a very good opportunity. I got a lot out of it. I felt it was very nice to be able to get to know some of my fellow people here in a different light.
Alderman Kirk.
I would echo that. It was a good conference. A couple of things I took away from it. Community communication, like Mayor Barner has talked about. I know there are things that we do well in the city and there are things that we don't do so well. One of the things we're seeking to improve on is communicating. We do really well at getting on our website, but most people don't know we have a website or don't frequent the website. So that's a discussion we're having among the board and among the city to try and figure out how we can get accurate information to people in a timely manner so you understand what's really happening. One of the other things that came out of there is there was a seminar about the roads department. I was going to give a shout out to the roads department, but he's not here tonight for some reason, so I hope he's enjoying his time off. But some of the things that he taught us that I learned with the way that our roads department functions here is consistent with what's happening across the state. To the point that there are other cities that don't understand some of the scenarios that fall into the pitfalls that we don't fall into because of some of the things that we know. That being said, we still don't have perfect streets, but they're better than what they could be. They could be much worse. The generational gaps, that was a pretty interesting and comical talk about that and help me understand some of my more senior, more tenured people on the board. See, and where some of our communication breaks down, but then also where sometimes it really bonds and grows together as well. So I thought it was really neat. But one of the most important things I got out of it was building relationships. I know we didn't have all the aldermen there because of other circumstances, but those that were there and the city staff that was there, I had a wonderful time. And I feel like our relationships are growing more and more to where we can work more effectively as a board and as a city staff, being more open, more transparent with each other, to actually help the city move forward through some of the trials that we have. A couple other things I want to talk about, not related to the trip. The waste revenue source we're going to talk about tonight. I wanted to thank Sarah and Beth. I see Beth's here tonight. I want people to understand that they appropriately addressed the board. They took a concern that was, and Beth's not even a city citizen, but she came and addressed the board. She pointed out a concern that we didn't know, we didn't understand, that there was a perception that we hadn't seen. And she came and addressed us and talked to us about it. Her and Sarah called us. They got us involved and helped us see from a different angle things that were happening that we didn't understand. And from that, the board and the city was able to make progress and hopefully make it amicable for all the parties involved. So I want to say thank you for being a part of that and helping this city be better. Okay. The last thing is the community meeting. Alderman Carey and myself are doing, we're going to continue doing our community outreach meeting. Even if no one comes, we will continue to give you the opportunity to come and speak with us. That is an open forum where you can come and speak your mind, we hope politely, but when you come to an alderman meeting, this is a closed forum. People are able to make comments, but we can't comment and have a discussion back with you because of Missouri state statutes and the way the meetings have to be run. But the Ward 3 community meeting does not fall under those same regulations. That is where we can have actual discussions with you and brainstorm and talk about things, and then bring it here and talk about how we can actually enact legislation to do something about it. So I would continue to invite you. Our next one is on October 9th here in the community building at 7 p.m. You do not have to live in the Ward 3. It is specifically invited for them. But we do not represent anyone out of Ward 3, but we will share with you the same information and engage you through the same if you're in a different ward. Up until this point, 50% of our attendees are not from our ward. And we appreciate those that come and share. We've learned a great deal from their input and insight, and hopefully we can apply some of it and make the city better. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Paulson.
So, I also attended the MML conference and appreciated it. Some things I learned. Didn't really have allergies down in Branson, so that was nice. But, all cities of all sizes, face the same issues that we do. Revenue, infrastructure, how to attract and retain business. So, it was insightful to hear different perspectives and ideas on that. And then one of the things that stuck out to me in one of the sessions I attended was maintaining your downtown. It's your core. So I think we do a good job at that, and we need to continue. And they had some retail trends that were interesting that in the year-over-year growth in the second quarter, they've seen consumers moving away from the spending on goods, like hard goods, to service spending. Museums and amusement and entertainment is cropping to the top of the list. So that was interesting to me.
Very good, thank you. Alderman Eller.
Well, I'm gonna swirl this back around to stuff a couple of things that are happening here locally in our community, and I thought it'd be worthwhile to bring it up at our meeting this evening. I'm on Rotary, and we had a couple of gals that are putting together the Special Olympics. And I know that if you don't know what Special Olympics are, they are track and field events. They have many other things that happen too, but what's coming up on October the 9th here in Odessa at our stadium out here is the Special Olympics track and field event. They have one at the high school and then they have one for the youth over at the elementary school. They came to Rotary and they're also doing a sponsorship drive where if you're interested in that, contact the special education department at the school. But what they said they needed at Rotary was fans. So these, and that, it doesn't cost us anything if you're not doing anything on Wednesday, October the 9th, and you want to go watch the track meet at the Odessa High School and sit in the stands and cheer these kids on. They say that means a lot more to them than anything. So I want to put that out there. October the 9th, 9:30, they do the ceremony and 10 o'clock starts the track. So they need fans. And then the other thing was, this also came to Rotary, was that we have a DECA student and her name is Scarlett Puritan. And she is doing a costume drive for her DECA project. So at the football game on October the 11th, she's taking donations for new costumes so that all the kids at the elementary school, when they have their Halloween program, will have a costume and those sort of things. So for anybody that attends a football game on October the 11th and you want to pick up a costume, please bring it to the high school during the game. So that's all I have.
Mobile and stuff.
I too went to MML. If you have a conceal and carry and your license expires in 5 years, if you need to renew it, you have to do that. I did not know that. I thought they were like forever licensed, but they're not. So am I right?
There's different stuff.
But anyway, that's one of the things I took out of conference. And the other thing, I'd like to thank the citizens for coming to Odessa Outreach Bingo Saturday night. We didn't have a sellout crowd, but it was our first time for September bingo, and so it was fun. So thank you.
And Alderman Carey.
I have no report.
All right, that brings us to the city administrator, sitting in for Shauna, filling in for Shauna. We don't see her.
City clerk report. To try to do as best as Sean, but we'll see. So this evening, the report for all of the different departments, City Administrator Shauna Davis is attending the ICMA annual conference. ICMA conference brings together local government professionals from around the world for 4 days, learning, inspiration, and networking. This conference provides top-rated educational sessions, world-renowned speakers, and the opportunity to exchange ideas and strategies and to build partnerships to assist in creating a thriving community. And she will be back later this week. For our wastewater department, they will be focusing on their regular maintenance and operations. Kenny and I this morning had met with Special Road District Commissioners Mike Begeman and Steve Arner, and we discussed the hauling of the ZMDR wastewater. They wanted a little bit more clarification on the project and what it entails. And so the commissioner seemed happy with what the city was proposing as far as our next steps. And they expressed that their desire is to continue working with the city in a positive manner. We had great communication, so it was a win-win this morning. And we will be discussing that further in the agenda. With Finance Department, the auditors are currently working on making adjustments to the journal entries, and Amy Finch, our finance director, is closely collaborating with them. And the draft should be ready pretty soon, in the next couple of weeks. Our police department, Chief Thompson, Sean, and myself met with Compass Health to discuss state statute 590.192, which is critical in incident stress management. We are exploring how to integrate into our staff policy, working with Compass Health for mental health check-ins for our police officers. And we are incurring no costs through Compass Health at all. And there is potential to have that available to our full-time staff as well. And it's just mental health check-ins. It's something that the chief is looking at doing annually. So it's a great benefit for our staff. As far as the dogs, there were several dogs that we had posted on Facebook and our city website. There were actually 4 of them, and I am pleased to say that all 4 of them have been adopted. Yeah. So we do have a puppy, 8 to 9 months, if anybody's interested for adoption. That's the Mickey. So we do have 1 puppy that is available for adoption if anyone's interested. Staff is working on the cloud permit software for code enforcement. And it has gone live for staff. It will go live for the public in the upcoming weeks. This week, Amy will meet with Chief Thompson to discuss how the process of payment will be handled in the cloud permits. Some good news, we have the Odessa Marching Band and Homecoming special events that were submitted to staff, and we reviewed and approved those special events. High school homecoming parade will happen on October 4th from 1 to 3 downtown. Marching band invitational will also happen downtown on Saturday, October 12th from 8 to 11. And that information is listed on our website. The electric department light arms have been received for the downtown sidewalk project. And the CIP floor restoration plan for the electric plant is nearly complete. The footwall work is being completed now. We have staff working at 503 Johnson Drive. It just needs some work in the backyard, working with Brightspeed, just for some improvement conditions to their backyard. We'll be working on that, weather permitting, this week. The water and streets, we are currently hiring a wastewater or a water operator, not a wastewater operator, water operator, and a heavy equipment operator. So there are 2 positions that are open. Last week, staff assisted Ben Bromley, building maintenance with the reservoir cleanup. From what I understand, the bridge was in the water.
Got that out.
So they got that out. As some of you are aware, the trail sign has been damaged due to someone shooting at it with a BB gun. And so that we ask that if anyone has any information on the damage that has been done at the reservoir, to please contact the Odessa Police Department. You can stay anonymous, but we need those reports brought to our attention. Staff is working on a water line break this week with the water basin repair. The flushing of the water line will take place in the next couple of weeks. Notice will be given out to the residents on that. Then we do have 2 staff members that are currently in training offsite for their water license. So, Community Development Department has 2 certificate of occupancies that were issued for Benning Street and 941 Moore Place. So those are 2 new home constructions. A final inspection of the Pina, I think that's Pina Wine and Spirits liquor store was completed, so they are ready to go. Pine Creek will start paving this Tuesday. This will take most of the day, which tomorrow, and their representatives should have notified the area residents at this point. The school district and the bus barn have been notified that Benning Street will be closed for tomorrow. So we do have a variance request that was submitted, and the Board of Adjustment will meet on October 15th to hear that variance request for a no paving. We have a demo permit that for 300 North 3rd Street that will be completed on September 25th of this week. We have a total of 201 building permits for the year. Okay, and then we have city clerk report. So I attended the 90th annual MML conference with the mayor, 4 aldermen, and 1 staff member, and I was awarded the MML Missouri Governance Institute. And as well, the Mayor Varner, he was awarded that last year.
Yeah.
That's old news.
No, it's good. So to receive this award, you must complete 16 credit hours of extensive training in all aspects of municipal government. And I encourage all of the board members to check it out. It's valuable information. You network with some very good people, and it's a wealth of knowledge. So we have been, or I've been processing over 250 business licenses, and they keep coming in daily. So we're just trudging right along. Anna will be taking over probably the next couple months, processing license. And this is pretty much all I have.
Congratulations. Yeah.
All right, next up is the public hearing. Public comments will be heard on the amended levy of general and ad valorem property taxes for general and park for the city of Odessa. We will open the public hearing at 7:20. Do we have anybody who wants to make any comments for the public hearing? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing at 7:21. Next up is public comments. Before we get to that, I want to make a reminder. This is a business meeting. This is not a forum. We want to hear from you. We want to engage with you. We want to have a back and forth with you, but the board meeting is not the place to do that. The only time that the public has an opportunity to engage with the board and make comments is during public comments. After that's over, the board discusses the city business. That's not my decision, that's the state constitution. So. With that said, is there anybody who wants to make any public comments tonight? Come on up.
I take that to mean that even if it's an agenda item, you speak on it now.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not the way I understood Robert's
Yeah.
rules, but
If it's an agenda item,
Okay.
go ahead and speak on it now, but your words will be considered by the board when we discuss that,
okay,
okay?
yeah. So, as I met with Beth Fox, regarding the 10941 Star School Road property, sorry. When I met with Alderman Carey and Alderman Kerrigan, during their meeting, I was able to show them the video of the truck traffic. Before Monday's meeting and after Monday's meeting, and it was so markedly better. The speed in particular. And then, of course, by Wednesday or so, they had rerouted. Which now I understand that's perhaps even going to be going to an entirely different facility, and be that as it may. So traffic aside, I just want to make sure you know who you're getting in bed with. There's a number of cases. We've got a suit on account to a local Cornice Electric, a suit on account out of Jackson County, a pending breach of contract out of Jackson County, a mechanics lien, which is an unpaid bill that you have to enforce out of Johnson County, a mechanics lien out of Johnson County that I believe was satisfied. One of them has been satisfied, but they still had to be sued to get paid. Another suit on account that was dismissed, which means ultimately that they reached some settlement. Not to be outdone by a $730,000 bill registered as a foreign judgment against them out of Texas, and another foreign judgment registered out of Texas. I will gladly provide those to the people who should already know this, but you know, a shell company is a shell company. Nothing sticks, and I would encourage you to keep that in mind when you decide to get back to me.
Thank you. Any other public comments tonight? Okay. We'll move on to old business. There is none. New business. Staff introductions. Troy, come on up.
Good evening, and I just want to thank you for the privilege to introduce Aiden Wild. Come on up, Aiden. Aiden is one of the newest members of the electric department, electric crew. Aiden's a 23 graduate of Holden High School, and Aiden is also a 23 graduate of the Southeast Lineman Training Center in Trenton, Georgia, which is considered to be the premier lineman training school in the country. My contact with the school, he knew Aiden, and then he referred me to his instructor. And so before hiring Aiden, I called the instructor, and what he told me was if I was to go on storm, Aiden would be one of the top people I'd take with me. So that meant quite a bit to us. So He, they've become part of our team in February this year and is currently enrolled in the NQA apprenticeship training, apprentice, first year. And in September of this year, I guess I'll do two fold here, and maybe I should also wanted to introduce Butch Whittick. He couldn't make it tonight. But Butch has been, Butch worked here in 2002 to 2007 or 8. And then went to Cameron and I was a journeyman lineman in 2007. And then him and Aiden both came in 2000 or in February of this year. So we're glad to have them, and Aiden brings a lot of enthusiasm and good work ethic to our team, and we're glad to have him. So I'll move on to maybe the recognition. On September 6th of this year, Aiden and Kendall Hewing competed in the MQA inaugural rodeo. The rodeo consists of timed events such as a hurt man rescue, insulator changeout, cross arm relocation, double dead end shoe replacement, lightning arrest or changeout, and a written exam. Kendall and Aiden competed very well in all categories. Aiden achieved the highest score on the written exam and was awarded the first place trophy. Aiden was the only first year apprentice attended and still came in 4th overall on the rodeo and just on a 3-point spread. So 4 more points in his total score and he would have won the whole rodeo. So I'm really proud of him.
Yes.
I get one with you too? We're just real quick. You know what?
You don't want the chair.
I don't want the chairs. Let's go with that.
They put it on there.
Like right here in the middle. Yeah, let's do that.
No, that's great.
Now, it's totally yours.
That's all part of it.
All right, next was staff recognition. Congratulations again to Aiden and Butch and to our very own Karen Pandora again for the Certified Municipal Governance Institute Certified Municipal Official Award. And I know what it takes to get that, and it's some dedication. Thank you for taking the steps to do that.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah, can we get a picture with Karen?
No
We need
picture.
a picture with Karen.
I have enough pictures. I'm here, listen, what did you just say?
I said we need a picture with Karen and the mayor.
Oh, we need a picture with Karen and the mayor. Okay.
Yeah.
Boss has spoken. Well, let's do one, even though I have money. I do not. That's okay, shake my.
It's on her wall.
Yes.
All right, moving on. We are ready for the introduction and reading of proposed ordinance repealing ordinance number 3128, setting the tax levy for the year 2024 for the city of Odessa, Missouri, and designating the amount to be used for general import purposes. Take a motion to approve the first reading.
This is the repeat, right?
This is for repeal.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve bill number 2024-18, first reading to repeal ordinance number 3128, setting tax levy for year 2024.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? 6-0. Moving to the second reading, introduction and reading of proposed ordinance repealing ordinance number 3128, setting the tax levy for the year 2024 for the city of Odessa, Missouri, and designating the amount to be used for general and public purposes. Again, second, take a motion.
I move that we repeal ordinance number 3128, setting tax levy for year 2024, second reading.
Second. Have a motion and a second, roll call.
Aldermember Starr,
Yes.
Placky,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Polson,
Yes.
Eller,
Yes,
Kerrigan.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried, given ordinance number 3130.
Moving to bill number 2024-19 and proposed to reading on proposed ordinance setting the amended tax levy for this year 2024 for the city of Odessa, Missouri, and designating the amount to be used for general and public purposes. I will take a motion for the first reading, followed by discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2024-19, first reading to set amended tax levy for year 2024.
So a motion and a second, discussion.
Amy, are you?
Yeah.
Come on up and you can look at this.
I think some of us understand what took place, but we need to let the public understand what took place. as well.
Yeah.
Why we're amending the one as change the ordinance.
Well, I want to move that microphone.
Yeah, no, talk
Thank you.
this.
Thank you.
Okay, so on your August 26th agenda, what you saw was a pro forma that comes from the state auditor's office to the county and then to us for your consideration. On that,
I know.
on that pro forma that you saw, our new construction and improvement total was listed as $5,151,031 for both the general fund and the Parks and Rec fund. The 2024 notice that we received from the county identified that number as $932,528. So upon inquiry, we were made aware there was corrections then. However, that $5 million number was only corrected on the general fund. So in further contact with the county officials, they worked directly with the state auditor's office. Now what you see before you on both the general fund and the Parks and Rec levy includes your prior or your new construction and improvement total is $932,528, which is much more in line with what we expected and what we were asking. That also brings, if you should pass your pro forma and your tax levy as it is presented to you today, that results in about an $8,000 increase overall, and that's both funds versus about $40,000 that the prior pro forma resulted in that you saw on August 26th. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I think that explained it. So,
Good.
good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Katie. All right, we've got the motion, the second on the first reading, all in favor? 6-0, thank you. We're now moving to the second reading, introduction and reading of proposed ordinance setting the amended tax levy for the year 2024 for the city of Odessa, Missouri, and designating the amount to be used for general and public purposes. A motion for second reading.
I'll take a motion, we approve bill number 2024-19, second reading to set the amended tax levy for 2024.
Thank you. 5 seconds. I mean, a motion, a second, roll call.
Aldermember Placky,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Polson,
Yes.
Eller,
Yes,
Kerrigan, Starr.
Yes.
Motion carried, given ordinance number 3131.
Move to bill number 2024-20. Introduction and reading of the proposed ordinance amending chapter 2 articles, mayor and board of aldermen division 2 meetings, section 2-59 of the code of ordinance of the city of Odessa. I will take a motion to approve first reading followed by discussion.
I'll move to approve bill number 2024-20. It's an introduction to the proposed ordinance amending chapter 2 of 2. Mayor and board of aldermen 2 meetings, section 2-59. Code of ordinances in the city.
I'll second.
Now for discussion.
The only thing we're taking out of there is and forth.
So this is reducing meetings to one time a month.
This moves the meetings to one time a month, but it should be emphasized that if this is found to be city business and whatsoever, then the board would like to move back to 2 weeks, every 2 weeks or twice a month. There, it will, you know, that's your audit, and that can certainly be done. And we will also have extra board meetings during the budget season, so be prepared for that. But I think it's worth, in my opinion, it's worth testing this to see if it does reduce the burden on your city staff. And help get an agenda together a little bit, or so that the board can have the agenda a little bit, so the constituents a little bit better. So that's what I think it's worth doing. So.
Mr. Mayor, I have a concern. So I kind of flipped back and forth on it. I totally understand how it will help city staff. My concern is, especially with the different issues that we have coming up, that is this going to be the best for the residents to get information? If we only do it once a month, giving what we're seeing and what we're trying to do and the steps we're trying to make with the city. That would just be.
I had these exact same concerns when we first started talking about this months ago. But I personally think I'd like to give it a try and stay on and ask a lot of questions and make sure that we're not missing anything. So I agree with Carla. I have some concerns. Just let me put that out there, but I'm willing to give it a try.
I agree with Carla too. Time all the time.
I think we all agree with Carla.
You don't know if you don't try, right?
That's pretty
Good.
how we've all felt all along. Just, yeah.
And I will continue to meet with the board members as we have been. To get the information to you so that you can get it to the constituents. All right. So. This is regarding the first reading, all in favor? All opposed? 5-1. Thank you. We can do the second reading, introduction and reading of proposed ordinance, amending chapter 2, Article 2, Mayor and Ward Walden, Division 2, Section 2-59 of the ordinance of the city of Livingston, Missouri, second reading. Take a motion.
I will move to amend. I'm sorry, I will move to approve bill number 2024-20, second reading. This amends the chapter 2, article 2 of the mayor and board of aldermen, division 2, section 2-59 of the code of ordinances of the city of Odessa.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, roll call.
Aldermember Polson,
No.
Ellert,
Yes.
Kerrigan,
Yes.
Star,
Yes.
Placky,
Yes.
Carrie.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried, given ordinance number 3132.
Okay, it is time. for resolution number 2024-23. Proposed resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the city of Odessa and ZMDR LLC for bulk waste delivery. Before we get to the motion, I want to take a special moment and thank Sarah Hawthorne, Beth Fox, and everybody who was concerned about this, and bring it to the attention of the board members. This goes, concerned citizens came in and made a difference, made an impact, they were heard. Yeah, and I really appreciate them taking the time and effort to community engagement. It's very important. So thank you. So with that, I will take a motion to approve. Followed by this. What's that? Yeah. We'll make the motion to approve and we discuss.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2024-23.
Second. Thank you, seconds. Discussion.
I just want to clarify a couple of things, Kim.
Yeah, Kenny's coming on. Thank you, Kenny.
You may want to speak a little louder because,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
the
don't have
rain is.
microphones.
Okay.
Anybody want to ask me? He's taking there.
Any questions?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
So you found a way to take this waste to the northwest plant, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So, and everything else, so we will not be going down Star School Road or any, unless, it was written in here that unless you authorize that to happen. And I just want you to kind of tell us what steps you had to go to or what you had to do to make this happen. Thank you for making it. You had to redo some testing, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Alderman Carey and Alderman Carey for coming out and taking their time to understand the process. It's a fairly extensive process to treat wastewater. Part of the process is biological, part of it is chemical. We have to be able to stay within permit. Not only with the strength of the wastewater, but with the volume. Okay, so with that being said, the city staff and the wastewater department work every day to make sure that they stay within permit and they never, ever leave the receiving stream. Some of the testing of the receiving streams for the wastewater facilities is a series of tests that test the strength of the wastewater itself. Okay, the strength of the wastewater that's already in the stream due to like livestock or wild animals or whatever, okay, however it gets in there. The average strength of that water that's in the stream is roughly between 461 and 613 parts per million. And that's just simply the strength of the water itself as far as wastewater. Okay. The strength of the wastewater that leaves our facility and goes into the creek is much cleaner than water that's already in the stream. The strength of that water that we're putting in the stream averages between 5 and 7.3 parts per million. So obviously it's very, very clean, filtered, disinfected. You guys were there, you know, it almost looks like drinking water. Okay, so with that being said, we are not polluting the creek in any way, shape, or form. It's actually quite the opposite. We're cleaning the creek. Okay, now the wastewater that is coming to us in these tankers has a wastewater strength of around 50 to 70. Okay, so it's very low. The ammonia in the wastewater is roughly about 200. Okay, that's considered quite high. So if we have the capacity to hold on to that wastewater and aerate it with aerators, which is what we do for a living, we simply treat wastewater. Okay, and that's all this is. We just have to hold on to it long enough to aerate it so we can get the ammonia down to an acceptable level and then process it. Okay. The Southeast wastewater plant has an overflow basin that is quite large, and we have the ability to hold on to that wastewater for pretty much as long as we want. Okay. The aeration part of that is basically Mother Nature. The algae produces the oxygen. The oxygen strips the ammonia out of the wastewater, and then we bleed it through the plant as fast or slow as we want. That was actually very, very easy to do and free to let Mother Nature do her job. Okay, now the city staff and I all got together and try to come up with some type of a solution with this issue and get that wastewater to the north plant. At first, we didn't think we could do it. So after kind of a roundtable meeting and doing a lot of figures we thought, well, if we change the process on our solids handling to one tank, that other tank, if we drained it, we could possibly use that tank. Well, after draining the tank, that tank has an aeration system in it, and that speeds up the process. We didn't know if we could speed that process up enough, to make this thing happen. So we allowed the tankers to come to the north facility. They've been unloading there in that tank. The performance of the aeration has exceeded our expectations. So we have the ability to put the wastewater in that tank, aerate it, and then bring it through the plant and meet permit with no problem at all. We just simply didn't know that until we tried it.
So you're saying instead of putting it out in a retention pond, now you can put it in a tank?
We're putting it in a large tank with an aerator. And we're stripping the ammonia down to an acceptable level so we can put it through the facility treated. And it is working very well.
Brother? Jim? Alderman Paulson, do you have any questions?
I did, and, actually, one of the questions is, what are they bringing to us? What is in that tank? I mean, I know you say waste, but does it contain, what does it contain? Blood, urine, feces, I mean, I don't know, that's what.
Well, their process has changed to a frozen food process. So basically it's restroom waste from all the employees. They have rinse water in packaging and receiving. So yeah, yes, the waste would contain initially some blood, not much. But once it gets out there, it's just wastewater. And again, the strength of a wastewater test determines how strong it is. And it's just that simple. I'll put it in. I'll use a comparison. The average strength of wastewater that comes into a plant from the town is about 250 parts per million. Okay, that is the strength of the wastewater. The average strength that Republic Foods is sending us is about 53. So it's very weak. Okay, that's just the average strength of the wastewater. Of course, it fluctuates up and down a little bit, but it's actually considered weak. The thing is, if they're bringing us 3 or 4 loads a day and we have to process it in order to keep the room in our holding tank, the issue that we were concerned with was actually ammonia. So, I mean, you have to strip the ammonia out of the wastewater by using air. It's the only feasible way of doing it. Now, you can do that in 1 of 2 ways. One would be a holding basin with a lot of algae in it. Okay, like at the Southeast facility. Okay, or you have to mechanically do it with an aeration blower. We just didn't think that North Plant was going to be able to do that as effectively as the Southeast plant, and as it turned out, we can. So that's good.
So I just, with that question, or with that being said, is it more expensive than to do it over here than let Mother Nature take to do it over there in a pond? I mean, are you expending more energy to aerate it in the tank than you would if it was sitting out for Mother Nature?
Yes. it's a minimal cost. If we didn't have the wastewater in that tank aerating it, we would have something else in it.
Okay.
Just like we did before, so regardless, we're gonna use that tank, we're gonna use the aerator no matter what, it's a cost of doing business.
Okay, then I just had one other thing.
But
So I read in here that if we take it out to the northwest plant, there's one family that we have to go by, and the county is maybe going to put dust control down in front of their house next spring, right? I mean, is that?
Yes, that's,
We would have to,
that would be on us.
Okay, so we're
We
paying that
would be willing to
$600.
pay the $600.
if
So
the board directs that.
hopefully,
What did you say, Shauna?
I said, if that's the board's direction to
If
pay
that's
the
board's
600,
direction.
but it is just $600 for the application.
So the cost would
So
be
say that,
$600.
so what you said,
This is based on what your direction is, but the cost would be $600. And you can't do that now. You would have to do that next spring.
yeah,
But
you would
we
have to
don't-
wait until next spring to apply that. We have a little bit of experience with the dust control.
Yeah.
So. You don't necessarily have to do that every year, but. Sometimes you can get, depending on the weather, sometimes you can get away with doing that every other year. So really, it's a pretty minimal cost to, keep people happy, right?
Also,
Wanna make it
also
easy.
Karen,
Even the projected revenue flow of $600 for them.
Shauna's got something to say.
yeah, I just wanted to add, there are 3 houses on that stretch there, but 2 of them sit significantly off of Hughes Road. But the one address I think it's 6674, sits relatively close to the gravel road. So that's the one I'm addressing with the $600, and that would be for 400 foot of dust control.
Perfect.
okay,
Thank you.
any more discussion?
Go ahead. We can, with a written notice, we decide this is not working, we can stop this, they can, or we can. So this is not something we're signing up for a year to do. So I want to reiterate that.
We can
And
terminate.
it could possibly bring us anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 of income for the city in this, to the wastewater fund, right? Something like that.
It's
We don't
definitely
have-
gonna be lower now that the BOD levels have dropped. It's gonna be on the lower end of the estimates now because it's not as dirty of water, lack of better words.
So would this be something that in about, if we, let's say we do this tonight and in 30 days or 60 days, can you report back to us what this is, what the figure is? Would we know in that short of time what this is bringing in?
Yes, we can report back on what we were able to actually invoice.
Okay, I don't have any further questions.
I'm sorry,
I
I can't
do,
answer those questions because I treat wastewater, I don't really. So I'll just be honest with you.
This was a science lesson, so thank you very much.
and can I just add a little bit to Carla's question, with the difference of what, their business model has changed and what they're bringing to us now. So Kenny had said, like, they're bringing the waste from their business and from the flash frozen process. But the moral to that, or the major gist of what he's saying, is that, they are not processing cattle. So what they're bringing to us now, they're processing meat or they're doing a process that now by doing the flash frozen process, they're freezing meat, but they're not processing meat. So they're not slaughtering. So, originally they were bringing us waste with, blood and, other cow materials. That is not occurring any longer. So they are no longer bringing us waste with those excessive materials of the cow itself. Just to reiterate that.
So what route will they be taking? Like, how are they gonna get here now? F-131,
No.
I don't know.
The drivers all agree that F Highway to I-70 is their safest route. And then when they exit I-70, they just swing around on the North Outer Road and go to Hughes Road, and then go north a half a mile.
Any other concerns or considerations?
I just want to say thanks, Kenny, for your work on this and pivoting and listening and trying to figure out a way to do this. I have zero confidence that our plant will have issues with this and with Kenny and his team. I do have some questions on the company itself. And I've attempted to look into them. I haven't found a whole lot, but I've heard a lot of people have a lot of negative things about their business practices. Whether they actually pay or not, I don't know for sure. But we heard some comments today with some litigations that are out there. I don't know if those are accurate or not, but I've heard that from multiple sources. And that is why I might have pause doing business with the company, not because of what they're asking us to do, but maybe because of the company itself. Do we have any information? I wouldn't expect Kenny to know some of that stuff.
Well,
But what,
I will say this,
Yeah.
The owner of the company and the drivers all know that, when we get to the point of where we can invoice them,
Mhm.
they will catch up. They will pay monthly. If they don't pay, they don't come.
okay,
And it's that simple. Now, you have to understand, their process is wastewater going into a lagoon. They do not have a discharge permit. They are not allowed to discharge one drop of water into a receiving stream. So, in other words, they've got a big bucket out there, they're putting water in, and they can't let it overflow, period. And nobody else would take this challenge on to even do water testing for them, to see if they could test the water and get it through their facility and treat it properly, but us. We were the only ones to take this challenge.
That was gonna be a
And
question
so,
I asked.
If they don't pay, they don't come. And that's that simple. They're not gonna last long. You know, their lagoon will be full. If it overflows, there'll be an enforcement with DNR. That's their problem. I don't care either way. That if they pay, they can come. That's it. And I guarantee you, I can treat this wastewater.
yeah, I have no lack of confidence in that one. Yeah, I feel very confident with that.
We'll conclude with discussion.
Kenny, are you able to speak to Carla's question?
I'm sorry, I don't
Which
know.
question?
Why us? Why no one else?
Yeah.
Well, everybody else wanted to, basically listen to all the politics and stuff, and they shied away from them. That part of it was past ownership.
Yeah.
And this guy kind of inherited a business that, had never done their due diligence on how do you process cattle, and then your wastewater, what do you do with it? They never went that far. They did the processing long enough to get themselves in trouble, then they quit and sold the business to somebody else who inherited the problem. Nobody ever thought about the wastewater. It's gotta go somewhere. When you don't have a discharge permit, you can't discharge. That's it. It's gotta go somewhere. So by the time this guy got the business and then realized, oh, well, gee, I'm in the same boat everybody else was in. I don't know anything about wastewater. So they went around asking people, and they came across me, and we worked it out.
I would also add that a lot of other municipal wastewater treatment plants don't have additional capacity.
She's exactly right. A lot of other treatment systems are stretched to their limits, and they're long overdue for expansions. We happen to have a facility that we have the capacity.
because we just built it in
As far as the
2015.
Southeast plant, that plant, has the capacity now because of all the work our city staff has done on decreasing the INI going to that facility. So, it has really paid off in a huge way.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion from the board? The motion and second, all in favor?
I need litigation against the company. What was that?
Or all opposed?
Do a roll call.
Hmm?
Would you like to do a roll call?
Yes.
Okay.
No roll call, vote.
Aldermember Starr,
Yes.
Lackey,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Polson.
My concern is nothing about our city treatment plan. I have full confidence in Kenny, his staff, Shauna's, everything she's checked out is. Is the revenue that we're gonna get from those potentially. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
I would say just, I mean, it's your decision and your vote, but I would say, again, we can bring back, we can assess the revenue and we can come back to you. And if we want to decide not to continue, we can do that. We can evaluate the revenue that we've had after, a certain amount of months, and we can come back to the board with that revenue.
So what you're saying is treat it kind of like a test period, but we'll get paid. If we don't get paid, of course, we're not.
Because we can terminate the
Yeah.
contract at any time.
And then that would allow us to see how much.
We can cancel it.
I'll vote yes on.
Eller,
Yes.
Kerrigan,
I would vote yes, with the contingency that the first time they miss a payment, it comes back to the board immediately. First time the check bounce, anything, anytime we have a payment issue at all, the board's alerted.
Is that all of roll call, Karen?
yes. Yes,
Is that everyone?
yes.
6-0.
Was that first reading or second reading? That was
That's
first.
resolution.
Resolution.
Oh. Sorry. Okay, that's, staff understands the direction.
All right. Next scheduled meeting is Monday, October 14th, 7 p.m. Then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor? 6-0. And
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Karen, can you mute and leave the meeting?